What's going on, guys? This is Gene Jensen. It's time for another Friday Night Live. It is, I'm whooped. I'm tired today. Got up too early, went to bed too late. So we're going to muscle through this one and have a whole lot of fun. We'll wait for you guys to jump on. Didn't make any announcements across social media, but we should still get a good showing tonight. Do a little adjustments. Hey, Connor, how you doing, man? John Bolton, welcome back. What's up? Jones Boys Fishing. How's it going, man? Jerry Loftus. What's up, man? Love from Lake Hartwell. Man, I don't like that lake. I need to spend some time on it. But I've never had a good... I've only been on it like 2 days, so I've never had a great day on that lake. Justin, hold your question just for a little bit. We're going to do what I normally do the first 3 or 4 minutes. Do some announcements. Say hi to everybody. John Bolton asked if I really did give away the kayak. You'll find out about that in just a second on my notes. I usually wait till about 100 people pop on, and then I knock this out. Awesome. Did I get my boat yet? No, Eric, that's actually a good question. I get that one. I get my Alumacraft Pro 185 sometime in May. We're waiting on a motor. It's a brand new motor from Evinrude that isn't even out on the market yet, and I'm probably going to get one of the first ones, which is really cool. David Neal, can I please make the rain stop? You know, 2 years ago when we had that bad drought where we didn't get any rain for 6 months, I said I'd never complain about the rain again. I think I'm ready to start complaining about the rain. When I stepped out to go get stickers out of my truck and got my feet soaking wet, I was not happy. Just like stepped in a mud puddle right next to my truck. I'm done, and it was my truck's parked in the grass. So Grant Henderson trolling Twitter. Goodness gracious, what's up, cod fishing? You doing all right? All right, let me get to the announcements and we'll get to questions. So first of all, stickers, and I got a bent one because I stuck it in my pocket, but yours will become flat. But Flukemastr stickers, all you have to do is hit the little super chat button, which is the little money symbol down at the bottom. Donate $5, then send me your name, your screen name on YouTube, and your mailing address to either my Instagram or my my Flukemastr Facebook page, and we will get these out this week to you. So simple, $5 donation, bam, you get a sticker. You can buy as many stickers as you want, but just let us know. Thanks, man. Y'all are awesome. Let's see, Bassmaster's Classic is coming up this week. We'll talk a little bit more about that here in just a little bit, but I'm going to be at several different booths. First hour of each morning, I'm going to be at the Seaguar booth. Then from at 1 o'clock every day, I'm going to be at YakAttack's booth, and then I'll probably be around back and forth around. I haven't heard from the rest of my sponsors yet, but we'll see. Hopefully, I'll have time to myself, and I'm not running back and forth everywhere. Let's see, my boat giveaway. We're giving away a kayak on the Angler website, ANGLR. That's what this little button is up here on my hat. But my old kayak that I've had for a year, we traded it out for a new one, and we decided we're going to give that one away. And so you get it, and how I rigged it up. You don't get my fish finder, you don't get all the attachments, but you get all of the mounting positions, because I put a lot of different stuff on there. And but cool, but they're going to give that away in I think 9 days. And so you go to their go to the Angler website, go to Angler giveaway, and look at how many different ways you can enter, and have fun with that. We've already got a ton of entries. I'm blown away at how many we have. I just put my Ray Marine Dragonfly on, my Ray Marine, what's it called? It's not the Axiom. I just pulled the Axiom out. Dang it, what's the Element, the new Element out on my kayak. I've had it on there for 2 days. I love it. I'm getting used to it. I still look like a bumbling idiot trying to work on it. But you'll see that in upcoming videos. One of the most important things that I'm going to talk about tonight is the KBF memberships. We got the National Championship coming up, over $125,000 worth of prizes, maybe even more. And they're doing a membership drive. You guys can join KBF. You can start fishing the state challenges and get used to kayak tournaments. I just got mine. This is not my old. This is actually an old prototype. But I got my catch board in the mail. It's sitting right over there. I'm going to be fishing more and more kayak tournaments this year. I tried to fish one tomorrow. It got canceled because of the rain and the thunderstorms that are coming through tomorrow. Pretty bummed about that because it was on my home lake. And but yeah, go join KBF. There's tons of discounts that you get from all of their sponsors. You get a bunch of cool stuff. There's just so many perks from KBF. It's a good thing to go over there and check it out. And last but not least, this is kind of I'm announcing this one on my own. I didn't ask permission. I wasn't asked to do this, but Bonafide is about to come out with their EX123. Now, I'm not a sit-inside fan, but this is a sit-inside kayak, and I can't wait to at least try it out, get in there and paddle it around and see what it feels like. But it's only 52-pound kayak. It's retailing for $9.99. It's got a Bonafide real seat in it. Dry storage in the back, and it's supposed to be really cool. That's all I know about it right now, but I'm going to go test it out and just kind of paddle it around the first chance I get. It'll be at Canoecopia in, I think, Texas or wherever they're having it this year. And then they're going to start shipping it out to dealers. So those are my announcements. That's it. So $5 donation through Super Chat gets you a sticker. All you got to do is give me your name and your address and your screen name on my Instagram or my Facebook page, my Flukemastr Facebook page, and we'll get that taken care of. So let's get knocking out some questions. Let me get a drink. I ate something I wasn't supposed to tonight, and my stomach's not feeling good. It's all Scott's fault. He made me go get Krispy Kreme donuts. When is Fluke and Mikey going to do Mikey video going down? I don't know, man. I got to figure it out. Mikey really doesn't live too far from me now. I have not reached out to him. He hadn't reached out to me, but I've got his number. I just got to do it. I've just been so dang busy. I'll tell you my schedule coming up real quick. I'll leave for the Bassmasters Classic on Tuesday or Wednesday, depending on when my tires come in for my truck, because I got to get new tires. The day after Bassmasters Classic, actually, as soon as the Bassmasters Classic over, I'm driving from Knoxville to Nashville, getting a hotel, doing a seminar at a college just outside of Nashville. After the seminar, driving home Monday night, packing Monday night, leaving Tuesday morning to Shreveport, Louisiana for the KBF National Championship. Going to be there for a week. And after that, I think I'm going to come home and crawl in a hole and disappear for a few days, because I'm going to be ready to relax. But it's going to be crazy whirlwind. All right. Cod fishing 108 or 180. Sorry, I'm dyslexic with numbers. I want to get a new reel Z, or should I get one more Corrado DC 150 again? What do you guys think? I'll be honest with you. If you're used to a Corrado, get another Corrado. If you're used to a Z, or if a Z feels similar to a Corrado, get one. I'm a fan of having all the same size reel. If it's bigger or smaller, it bugs me switching between rods. The Z is a great reel. I'm not knocking it. I love it. I have 5 or 6 of them, but I like all my reels to feel the same. So that's kind of my take on that. So, there's another one I forgot. Text Fluke to 555-888, and you could win some 13 fishing reels. This is the 1.3 Origin FB. It's the blackout version, or a spinning reel of your choice. So, or the black spinning reel. So you can choose between the two. Why am I not getting comments? Okay, there they are. Grant Hansen, glutened it up, didn't you? Yes, sir, I did. It will look like I'm throwing up tonight, I promise you. What's on my hat, Buckeye Bass? And this is actually it's called a Bullseye. The company that's giving away my kayak, Angler, is it's an app. It's a free app, ANGLR, and it keeps track of all my fishing trips, keeps track of all of my fish catches. It helps me to log all of those. And this is just a convenience factor. The app itself is free. You can use it all you want. But when I'm fishing, in order to not have to pull my phone out or be able to do things faster, I just hit that button and it logs my catch. So it's pretty cool. What do I think about 6 Sense fishing lures? Dylan B, I love them. And I'll tell you why. I have watched Casey, who owns 6 Sense. I have watched him since he started painting baits in college, and he would sell them on Facebook. I thought it was amazing to watch, and I'm a huge fan of his, and so I've watched his baits. His baits were incredible and beautiful. I have 2 of them that were custom painted by him from years ago, and one of them I've caught well over 1,000 fish on. But he does he does an amazing job, and it's been fun to watch their company grow. And so that's why I'm a fan of 6th Sense. It's just really, really cool to see what he's done. So, Sean Pescatelli, how's it going, man? Good to see you on here again. What's up, Fluke? What's your advice for line weight for pitching and tungsten weight for pitching, size hook, and favorite Texas rig to pitch? Woo, that's a loaded question. I usually 50 to 65 pound braid if I'm pitching and flipping to heavy cover. If it's sparse cover or if it's clear water, I'm going to switch to 20 pound fluorocarbon. That's ideal. Okay, if I use what I got, if it depends on, and I use whatever's tied onto the rod, and I don't really like to switch line out that much. Tungsten weight, heavy cover like Gunnersville Hydrilla and Chickamauga got Hydrilla. I start with 1 ounce and a quarter, and I go up from there. I try to go with the lightest weight that I can get away with anywhere else, but I just found that that 1 ounce and a quarter punches through a Hydrilla usually pretty good. 3/0 hook is what I like, a flipping hook. There's the Mustad and there's the Gamakatsu. I use both of them. They're pretty good. And lure, I don't know. Rage bug is usually what I'm going with. Unless it's really thick, then I go with something like a cutter worm. So, Tactical Bassin, Rome Branson, I have not had a chance to get a hold of him yet. I texted him not too long ago and didn't hear back. I'll keep trying. So, Scott said I didn't have to eat all 12. I wasn't going to share with my kids. What are you talking about? I didn't eat all 12. Just bought my fly vise to start tying up my own crappie jig. That's awesome, Grant. Dawson Collins, what's your favorite spinnerbait and chatterbait setup? The new chatter crank rod from 13, and I know they're sponsored by me, and it sounds like a sell pitch. That is my favorite rod. It's a good spinnerbait rod. It's a good large square bill rod. It's a good buzzbait, good for chatterbait, and it's awesome. And they just started selling them on the market, so you guys should be able to find them. And a 7:3-to-1 gear ratio reel is usually what I throw on there. So right now I think I have a Z on 1 and the new Inception SZ that starts selling at the Classic this next week. So, hey Fluke, great job on the videos. What's the best way to fish floating docks? You should always assume that the fish are right up underneath the floats. So I usually throw a spinnerbait or a crankbait or a fluke or something just about 4 inches deeper than what the bottom of those floats are. And if there's nothing there, then I start pitching jigs and letting it fall all the way to the bottom. They're either going to be up against those floats or they're going to be down on the bottom in the shade that dock creates. So, ordered a Z today on sale, and I think it's going to be awesome for a Carolina rig. Yeah, it will. It definitely will. Hey, Flukemastr, I live an hour away from Fellsmere. You're the one that helped me learn about it. Should I spend my whole day out there? Yes. Whole day, whole week, whole month. Yeah, it's an awesome lake, man. You're going to catch some big ones. So, let's see. A lot of little short answers. Hey, Fluke, great job. Already read that one? What spinnerbait blades do you prefer in these high muddy waters? It's going to be a Colorado blade. Gold, as big as I can get away with without it having a whole lot of resistance. So, hey Fluke, great job on the videos. Already read that one. Sorry. What is your favorite spinnerbait and chatterbait setup? I already told you guys that one. Maybe. Oh, I'm way behind in the comments. Sorry, guys. I bought a 7'6" AG Veritas rod, medium heavy with fast tip. What fishing technique, Ned rig, Senko, medium heavy would you use with that rod? Medium heavies, I usually go like a Texas rig, 1/4 ounce and up, a jig, Carolina rig. You're looking at heavier baits, anything from most baits from 3/8 ounce and up. I can cast a 1/4 ounce and heavier on a medium heavy, but usually 3/8 ounce and higher. Not a Ned rig. That's for a medium light action spinning rod. So, let's see. Thoughts on Perception Pescador Pilot? I have not played around with that one. that's kind of one of my goals this year is to get in my eyes on some of the lesser expensive kayaks so I can help you guys out with those questions because I feel really dumb by not knowing it. Do you prefer a heavy or an extra heavy for jigs? Heavy at the most. I like a medium heavy most of the time when I'm throwing football head jigs with light wire hooks. Heavy flipping jigs, I'll throw it on a heavy rod, but extra heavy, no. I just think it's too stiff. What entry level kayak was asked about? Thanks, Scott. Entry level kayak, gosh almighty, the Vibe kayaks are really good. I wouldn't spend any less than $600. I've seen too many people have bad experiences with the ones that are Walmart brand and that kind of stuff, the really, really cheap ones. But get what you can afford, get a good paddle, and get a really good, comfortable PFD that you're going to wear all day long. So, Mustang fishing, haven't seen you in a while, man. What's up, Fluke? Been a while. Last I was able to watch your live streams. But I just bought a Humminbird Helix 7, good one. Do you have any tips on setting that up? I'm new to Fish Finder ownership. I'm going to make a whole bunch of videos about that. I know, well, I don't know if they're still doing that one. I can't. Bass Boat Central website used to have a guy on there that did a whole bunch of Humminbird stuff. But set everything on auto for right now and let me get some stuff rolling with my Raymarine. I'm going to try to make a lot of my instructional videos more generic so that you can understand it between Fish Finder brands. I'm going to get specific to the Raymarine to start with as I'm learning it and as I'm making videos about it, but as I go along, you'll be able to transfer that knowledge to other brands. So that's my goal anyway. So, Scott reminded me of Crescent Kayaks. Dude, I totally flaked that one. Crescent Kayaks is another good one. It's around that $600-700 range. Have you ever fished in Colorado? Not for bass. I have fished in Colorado for trout. Long time ago. What setup do you fish for an A-rig? I fish a heavy. Depends on the A-rig. I like to use smaller, lighter A-rigs, and I'll fish it on medium heavy. But I like a heavy, moderate to a heavy, fast, but preferably a moderate action rod. So, what's the best two-piece spinning rod that you've seen or used? None. I don't like two-piece spinning rods. 13 made me a light, medium light action 4-piece pack rod once that I really enjoy, but I don't fish it that much. It's strictly for when I'm on the trails and I'm camping for a long period of time and I want to be able to fish up for the trout and stuff up in the mountains. If you're looking for an entry-level kayak, try Facebook Marketplace. Yes, that's a very good place. Yeah, get them used. What's that on my hat? It's the Angler Bullseye button. What I do is I have an app called Angler that keeps track of all of my catches. It helps me log out everything, and basically a push of a button and it logs everything onto my phone. This is a convenience factor. It's about $30, but the app itself is free, and you don't really need this to run it. But you'll find that this will be nice to have. William Gunderson, do you like fishing from a boat or a kayak better? It's hard to say. It depends on the body of water. If it's a smaller body of water, or if it's hard body of water to get to, of course, a kayak. There's nothing like catching a big fish out of a kayak. I get giddy as crap when I catch a big fish out of a kayak, just because it's a more of a battle. But as for a fishing tool, a boat, I can cover a lot of water. I can find fish faster, and I can accomplish a lot more. I enjoy a boat because I can move cameras around too, but that's because I make videos. So, what size weight for scrounger jig head? Used for 15-20 foot. Gosh, 3/4 ounce is usually what I throw any kind of swim, anything, to get 15 to 20 foot deep. So, the Angler button is $30. Another one, Joe Nee asked me if I could make the rain go away. That's funny. Thanks, Joe. I wish I could, man. Ever fish Lake Cumberland? No, I have not. What color and brand of spinnerbait would you recommend for Lake Barkley in late April? Lake Barkley is usually kind of muddy in late April. I don't know what brand, but a chartreuse in yellow with a number 4 willow leaf in the back, and then your minor blade is going to be a copper or a gold Colorado blade. So, and I can't remember what size, a size 2 I believe, or a 1. It's a small one anyway. Ever consider taking Miss Flukemastr fishing with the Hoovers? We've done that once. It's been a while ago. Chad actually helped her catch her first bass by herself, which was pretty cool. So he can officially say that he taught my wife how to fish, which is not true. Hey Fluke, how would one person be able to win anything of all? I can't read it. Of all few of your giveaways, like fishing lures, rods, reels, or a whole combo set. I don't understand the question, Jesse. I'm sorry. There's always chances to win stuff on my Friday night lives, like text Fluke to 555-888 to win some reels. Have you ever tried rigging flukes with center pins on a finesse EWG? Just watch Yes, I have. I haven't done that in years, and you lose a lot of flukes, but it's kind of, actually, I'll tell you the truth. I'll tell you in just a second. But you lose a lot of flukes, but you catch a ton of fish, and it has a massively awesome action. That's actually how Gamera Yamamoto originally intended for the Cinco to be fished, with a little screw lock in the front with a nose hook. Or it's exact. I'm serious, and that's how he still fishes them today. So, let's see. Jeremy Stewart, I want to start videoing my son's fishing trips after watching you and Taylor Cox at Bucks Island a few months back. What cameras and editing software do you like? Thanks for all you do. I use Adobe Premiere Pro. It's not the cheapest. I'd recommend Adobe Premiere Elements, or if you use Apple, just use the one that comes on the Apple computer. And then use GoPros, or just something that shoots in 1080p that you can focus on. If you're just videotaping your son, you want something that can zoom in and out and can focus. So GoPros if you don't care about the focusing deal. But something else that shoots in 1080p and has interchangeable battery, because you're going to go through a lot of batteries. So, favorite flipping jig is the Siebert Outdoors heavy cover jig. I can't remember what they call it. I call it the heavy cover jig. But I have a line on there called the Flukemastr line, which is all the colors that I designed for them. They're awesome jigs. I've been using them since longer than I've been doing YouTube. So, let's see. Does Angler app you work in Ontario, Canada? It should. I don't see any reason why it wouldn't. What's your thoughts on leader length for Carolina rig? I usually start around 18 inches and go up to somewhere around 24. The longer the leader, the harder it is to cast. And so most of the time I'm about 18 inches, just so I can cover water and cast a little bit easier. What's your thoughts on leader length for a Carolina rig? Oh, I already read that question. You can tell I'm tired, guys. What do you recommend for spawn fishing in ponds? Literally, spawn fishing is all about pissing them off. I usually take 3 or 4 different lures tied on the rods, and I'll alternate between the 3 or 4. Just you're basically hitting them in the nose as many times as you can until they bite. And that's why I've stopped fishing bed fishing. I prefer going out and catching those pre-spawn big fat females or post-spawn on topwater, depending on what part of the spawn we're in. So, oh yeah, Adobe Elements is awesome. The reason I say Adobe Elements is because it's one of those that once you learn it, you can easily learn other platforms, and it's not that expensive. It's pretty cheap. So, favorite braid to fluorocarbon leader knot, the FG knot by far. I've got a good video on how to tie that one, and it also links to an even better video by Salt Life or Salt Strong. Those guys, they did a really good one too. Hey Flukemastr, new to the channel, just wanted your thoughts on favorite rods, and have you ever fished California? Thanks, Chris. My favorite rods, I've got several of them. One of my favorite rods is the Chatter Crank rod, the new one from 13 Fishing, but I've got several other ones. My all-time favorite is always going to be a 7-foot medium fast action rod, because I fish a lot of stuff on there. So, what's up, Gene? What's in store for 2019? Brian, man, I haven't seen you in a while. I'm gonna do a lot more of these, what I'm calling flogs, Flukemastr logs, or fishing logs, whatever you want to call them. But anyway, where I just go fishing, and I take you guys along using the camera, and I just act like I'm guiding the camera. Once I get my new boat and get the Ray Marines, everything on there, it's gonna be awesome because I'm gonna be knocking out fish finder videos. You guys are gonna see what I see. I'm gonna explain everything that I'm seeing on the fish finder. I'm gonna go and I'm gonna catch fish, and if I have a bad day, you guys are gonna see it. If I have a good day, you guys are gonna see it. So I'm still trying to wrap my head around the details of it because I really suck at B-roll, but I'm getting better. So expect my videos, or hopefully expect my videos to get better and better in the next few months. Let's see, 14-inch, find a better casting. What do you think about the new Green 13 fishing reel? I like it. It's a good reel. It's bright as all get out. But the one I've been beating up for the last few weeks or month and a half, 2 months, it's been a good reel. So, goodness gracious. Up here in Kentucky, we have a lot of transition baits, especially on Lake Cumberland. What is some advice on what to throw in that situation just so it can be better chances? Two things. I like, usually when I'm fishing transition banks, the bass aren't very deep. They're moved up shallow, and they're moving along the shoreline, and they're working their way back. Square bill, spinnerbait, and a jig is what I throw at transitions. So, oh, and a Texas rig creature bait. But I usually catch them on a moving bait, so should not eat those donuts. Thanks, Scott. Up here in Kentucky, you already read that one. Any thoughts on those Phoenix feather rods? I have not played with those. I've only seen a couple of pictures of them too, so I don't know. Let's see. Hey, just wanted to know what's your favorite baits for quantity instead of quality. A Ned rig, by far a Ned rig. If you want quantity, a Ned rig was designed to catch 100 fish a day, so you're going to catch anything and everything. Thanks, Brian, appreciate it. Spawn triggered by temp or daylight hours? Yes, both. If temp driven, have you ever seen bass forego a spawn in abnormally cold springs? I haven't seen them forgo one. I've seen them wait. And I've seen them try to spawn early a couple of Januaries ago. They tried to spawn early, then it got cold, so they backed off. Some of the females dumped their eggs and didn't spawn at all, but largemouth are good at holding their eggs for a long period of time. Once it warmed back up, they were back up and spawning. But smallmouth, if that happens, they'll dump their eggs and they won't spawn that year, which is crazy. So, it has to do with, it has to be a certain length of time, usually. Daylight has to be between 13 and 15, or at least 13 hours, and then once the water temperatures get up to the low 60s, they start to spawn. What's a good all-around out-of-the-package mods for casting jigs? All I do is make sure that the weed guard's trimmed a little bit, and I might shorten up the skirt a little bit, but I like big, long skirts. So, let's see. Let's see. Gerald Tura says, are the Asian carp ruining to Kentucky Lake? I don't know, man. I think it'll mess them up for a couple of years, but I think the bass will get used to it, and people will start to figure out that the bass are maybe in different places and that kind of stuff. Is the Defy Black any good? Yes, it is. I've got a couple of them, and I like them. You ever fish Chickamauga? If so, what baits this time of year? If it's Chickamauga in right up the road in Tennessee, my favorite thing to throw this time of the year are going to be lipless crankbaits and chatterbaits and flat-sided square bills as you're working your way back in the backs of the creeks. So thanks, Michael. Your videos and instruction tips have been outstanding. Appreciate it, brother. So fishing outdoors, decals. You're talking about these right here? Pretty simple. See what Michael just did? He hit that little dollar symbol down at the bottom down there, and it said, and it gives you a chance to donate $5. You donate $5, you send your address and your name and your screen name here, if it's different than your real name, to my Facebook page or my Instagram page, and we will get that out to you this week. So Scott's going to have to hustle because we're both leaving for the Classic midweek. Have you ever fished any of the lakes over here in Raleigh, North Carolina? I have not. So thanks, Joseph. How do you like the decal, man? I like them because they're the UV protected ones. They're the ones that aren't going to fade out that much. So I haven't tested that, but it's the right material. Kosi Mullins, what's up, Gene? Love the videos from K16 South Korea. Dude, that's awesome, brother. That's awesome. When I was in Hawaii, I was attached to a tank unit over in South Korea, so I never got a chance to go over there, but I wanted to. They forced me to go to Hawaii, and I actually volunteered to go to Korea. What's the best way to fish a Ned rig? I like to hop it, and I love to swim it. If it's a muddy bottom like a pond or something, I'll swim it off the bottom just a hair, and it usually gets pretty good bites. So, do you think blade baits will play a role in the Classic this year? No, I don't. I think no. I think more like lipless and something else, lipless and maybe some type of a jig. So, whatever went down with me and Chad Hoover in boxing match. Chad Hoover had a heart condition 2 months ago, 3 months ago. I had to go in for stents put in his heart, and so we postponed it until his doctor clears him, which probably will never happen. But we're looking at fall, maybe a little bit later. I just don't want to kill him. So. Let's see. Big Red Bass says the decals are a great size going on the kayak. That's awesome, man. Is there such thing as too hot a water temperature to fish catch bass? No, because the warmer the water temperature in the surface will get really hot. I've fished 98-degree water temperature before, and the fat bass were just deeper. They were, 20, 25, 30 feet deep down on drops in the current. And, the deeper you go in a lake, the cooler the water gets anyway in the summertime. So, hello there, Fluke, watching from frozen waters in central Illinois. Keep up the good work. Thanks, man. We've been freezing here, but the water is not frozen. It's wet and cold here, which is just horrible. Let's see. Come on over to Raleigh. Favorite color for Ned rigs? My favorite for a Ned rig is, what's it called? The Deal. It's a green pumpkin top with a pearl bottom is my favorite color. So, Gene, love the streams you do, and we'll see you at the Bassmasters. Cool, man. Make sure you introduce yourself. I'm going to be running around like a chicken with my head cut off, so grab me and I'll stop and talk for a minute. In your opinion, who are the top 3 pro bass fishermen out either in bass or MLF? Jordan Lee, Wesley Strader, and Kevin's been kind of cold lately, so it's hard for me to say, and I don't know what a third one would be. Those are the 2 hottest ones, I think. So, let's see. Who do you think will win the Classic? I don't know. I haven't even looked at the field yet. So, what hook, terminal tackle sizes, and weights would you put in your bank fishing bag? What don't I need? I'd actually, terminal tackle, for me personally, nothing more than a 4/0 worm hook, nothing more than a 1/4 ounce weight. When I hit small ponds, it's going to be a Ned rig, a small spinnerbait, and maybe a shaky head, and that's it. That's just what I love to fish on small ponds. Shoot, when Kicking Their Bass TV, old Noah Pescatelli challenged me to a fish off. You got to go see the video. I put one on my channel, and he put one on his. I grabbed a Ned rig, and we had 30 minutes to catch fish, and I think I caught 6 or 8 real quick. A lot of fun. I beat him by 1. What kayak did I upgrade to? I didn't. I just, at the end of the year, I took the opportunity, when my contract with Bonafide switches over to the next year, I'm able to get another kayak, so I went and picked one up. So same color, same SS127. I just get to re-rig it. Oh, and Scott and I are going to do a really cool video of me rigging that kayak. I mean, we're going to pimp that sucker out, and we're going to do a video while we do it. So I'm going to take it over to Westbrook and let Fletch help me, since he does that all the time. Where's the Bassmaster Classic being held? It's in Knoxville, Tennessee. Look it up online to get all the details because I don't have all the details. But it starts on, I think the expo starts Friday and it goes Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and I'll be at the expo all 3 days. I think Friday it starts at 10 o'clock in the morning, and then Saturday and Sunday I think it's earlier. I can't remember. Go look. Is it better to fish when it is warm? Hector, hey Hector, man, let's go. How's it going, man? When it's warm, or fish next day. Watching from Cali, keep teaching us how to fish, and thanks for the knowledge. Fish when it's warm, or fish next day. During a warm up, man, I would fish every day, and I wouldn't even slow down. So that's why it's so nice to be able to fish for a living. Because if I'm home and I'm not traveling, when the weather's good, I get to go fishing. So, Scott says, private message your screen name here, or your real name and address to Flukemastr Facebook or Instagram page. Yeah, it's private message to Facebook or Instagram. After you donate $5 to Super Chat. So, and we go back and check on Super Chat to make sure that you guys donated $5. I promise you that. Who's your pick to win the classic? I don't know. Who do you normally work? How do you normally work a popper? A lot like I do a jerk rate, like a pop, pop, pause, and a pop, pause, and I just kind of play around with it until the bass tell me what they want. There's been times where I've had to really jerk it hard to be able to do it, to get bit. For a combination of lakes and rivers, would you choose the 107 or stay with the 127? If it's a technical river, if it's got class 2s, 3s, I'm going to go with the 107. If it's just like a lazy river, like right here on the Etowah River, where you're just going through fishing weirs and that kind of stuff, and there's a few rapids here and there, 127 is just fine. The 107 it's a lot easier to turn. So if you got to do any maneuvering through the rapids and through the current, then the 107 is definitely the way to go. So. Tackle Junkie, what's up, Jimmy? How are you, brother? Came through your area, the other side of the state, a couple of weeks ago, and thought about you. So I almost took a right and went to Troy. If you could use only one line, fluorocarbon, mono, or braid, which would it be? Fluorocarbon. So if you only give me one line, but what I typically will do if I'm trying to save money, it's going to be braided line to a fluorocarbon leader. So. What's the best way to fish the Ned rig? There's several different best ways. It's however the fish wants. I swim it, I'll hop it, I'll jerk it off the bottom and let it fall to the bottom, I'll yo-yo it, I'll do all kinds of stuff until the bass tell me what they want. There's a lot of different ways to fish it, and the video that I made a few years ago about the Ned rig covers every one of them. So, why did you switch from Jackson to Bonafide? Because Jackson could no longer let's just say they didn't hold up to their side of the agreement, and so I had to step away because I was missing truck payments. Whose truck are you gonna plaster with Fluke stickers at the classic? Dude, that's a good idea. I don't know. That's a good idea though. Brian Sale, recreational angler, have a spinning and bait caster. What type of line do you recommend? Braid if you have for spinning. Some like 20-pound or 30-pound braid for a spinning rod, just because it's a lot less problematic, and then tie a fluorocarbon leader. For a bait caster, either braid or fluorocarbon or copolymer. I don't like to use mono just because it's just got so much stretch. It's hard to get the hook set. Let's see. Favorite popper under $10 is the Strike King one. I can't remember what it's called. It's probably called the Sexy Pop because they call everything else sexy, but the Strike King. What's up, Fluke? I am doing well, AC. Appreciate it, man. Royal Finessing says, favorite rod type for fishing a bed with a flipping hook and weight. It's going to be a 7'3" medium heavy, or a 7'3" or 4 or 5 heavy. And let's see, weight selection, 3/8 of an ounce, because it's you can see what you're flipping to. So, Tackle Junkie just got home from work. I'll try to stop by next time. Like I said, I was on the other side of the state, and I was trying to get home as fast as I could. I got away from that blizzard that hit Wisconsin, so I was just hauling. But I slept at a rest stop for about 4 hours and drove home the rest of the way. So Let's see. Favorite shaky head worm. I love 3/16 ounce is usually what I go with first, and you know, a straight tail worm, really, a finesse worm or a trick worm or something like that is usually what I put on a shaky head. I'm not really picky about brand. Let's see. Nick Sneed, I have no clue about Pickwick right now, man. I'm sorry. I haven't been to Pickwick in a number of years. I need to get back there because I love that lake. Thank you for all the knowledge I have taken from you in the last couple of years. Thanks, Donovan. Appreciate it, man. Hey, Bryce. Falcons fan. Ike and KVD trucks. Man, I don't think I'll put it on somebody's wrap truck. I don't know. Because they just got their trucks wrapped, so I hate to do that to them. Best bait for fishing water that is barely thawed. Water that is barely thawed. Jerk bait. You'd be surprised how active fish are right after ice out. But jerk bait and a crankbait, really. And I've caught them. I was on a lake once that was half of it was frozen and the other half wasn't, and I was throwing crankbaits right down the seam of that ice and catching them. So, do you vary your rod lengths between your kayak and boat? I prefer longer rods with my kayak. I don't pay much attention to it, but if I'm fishing like really heavy cover and I know I'm fishing an area that's got big bass, and I'll always go with the longest rod that I've got in whatever action and power that I need for the technique. So, your question, Scott, is you ain't getting any attention for that question. Let's see. Do you use Hydrowave on your boat? Not right now. I used to have one. The speaker broke and I never replaced it, but it broke after like 2.5 years of using it. But it worked when it was better. One of those things is better to have than not, and I might end up going back to one day. It's just not a priority. So, let's see. Will kayak bass fishing tournament ever come to North Carolina? I don't make that decision, but I bet if you asked Chad Hoover, he'd be able to tell you pretty quick. But it'd be nice, man. Let's see. Gene, any kayak cart recommendations for a Bonafide? Yes, and it's going to surprise you. The new Wilderness Systems cart is excellent for the Bonafide. And it's probably the best one out there right now, just because it folds up or packs up really small. I played around with one at the last little expo I was at up in Wisconsin, and I was really impressed with it. And I've got one now that's a really big one that doesn't fit the Bonafide. I've got to actually weld some parts and pieces on there to make it work, but I want to make it work. Oh gosh. Oh. Flukemastr, will the bass spawn earlier in the back of a short creek than they will in a longer creek? That all depends on water temperature. If that short creek is getting a lot of sun and warming up fast and has all of the right things, they'll spawn earlier there. It has no short or long, doesn't make any difference. It's all about that water temperature and the length of days. So, what goes on at the Bassmaster Classic, Dawson? They have an expo that's 3 days, and it's got a ton of booths. It's the best expo of the year for the public. A lot of good sales. I know Dick's Sporting Goods is going to be there. They always are. All the vendors. YakAttack will be there. Bunch of other people. Seaguar. I'm always in the Seaguar booth first hour of the day. It's just a lot of fun, and then you got the weigh-ins that are free to go to. You go and you get to see, it's the coolest weigh-in. I always say don't ever miss Sunday's weigh-in. I try not to miss any of them, but Sunday I will never miss again. I missed when Randy Howell won, and it broke my heart. But it's just fun, man. And then if you got a boat, you can go chase people around the lake, but I prefer just to hang out at the expo. So. Joe Nee says, what booth will I be at the Classic? At several of them. I'll be at the Angler booth. That's where my kayak's going to be. I'll be at the YakAttack booth at 1 o'clock every day. And then the first hour of each day, I'll be at the Seaguar booth. So, And then after that, I have no clue. I'm going to be running around. But you'll see me. I'll be wearing this red hat like I always am, I guess. Bait caster or spin caster, easier to cast out of a kayak, easier to cast standing or sitting. I mean, I'm always going to say bait caster once you learn how to cast it. Spinning gear, it's pretty easy too. I don't know. I don't have a problem casting any of them. So, AC Design says the expo was awesome. Went to South Carolina last year. Let's see. We got about 15 more minutes. Have you just recently got a 13 fishing extra heavy rod? And I'm loving. Oh, I have just. Sorry. And I'm loving it. Great price for great quality. I think I've just gotten an extra heavy too. I don't think I've used it yet though. I know it's sitting in the barn. I just haven't gone anywhere I needed it. Yeah, did I fish Felspar with it? I forgot about that. Fluke, ever think of doing a fishing with vets video or programs? I fish with vets quite often. Typically, I don't video them, mainly for their privacy. I don't talk about it. I don't, I've got a really good buddy of mine who is a psychiatrist in the Army, or in the military. He does everybody's, but he sends me some of his most difficult patients with PTSD, and I throw them on a kayak or I throw them on a boat and we go fishing. And we talk shop and we get to know each other, and so that's just one. I just don't really ever felt right about. I see it as bragging about the good things that I do, and I don't really like to brag about that kind of stuff. I just kind of do it, So they deserve privacy, especially when they're what they're going through. So I mean, can you imagine? Nah, I won't even get into that because I can talk forever about PTSD. I'm planning to get a watercraft as a teenager. So should I get a kayak or a john boat? Thank you for the advice. San Diego, I'd say a kayak, especially because it's easier to load and unload on whatever vehicle you've got. A john boat, and I had a 10-foot john boat, was the first boat I ever owned. It scratched up my truck, something fierce. Loading it and unloading it, and if we'd have had fishing kayaks back then, I'd have had one in a heartbeat because it's just a lot less problematic. So, what are the prizes for the 13 giveaway? I guess you're talking about the one that says text Fluke to 555-888. Now this one's still in the package, but it's the Origin FB Blackout reel, or the same version of the spinning reel. And I keep forgetting to get one off the floor way over there, and I'll knock everything down trying to reach to it. But I don't ship them out. 13 ships them to you, so you usually get them pretty quick. What are the best colors for wacky rigs? All depends on the color of the water. I've got a real good video about how to choose the color of your baits that I made last spring. You got to go check it out. It's really good and detailed. So, how many fishing licenses do you currently have? Oh, you don't even want to know. Gosh. Last check, I had 9. I have 5 yearly licenses. No, I have 9 yearly licenses from 9 different states, including Minnesota. So, what are the prizes for the 13? I already read that one. Fluke, I have some soft plastic baits to send you that I made. That's awesome, man. That's awesome. At the bottom of all my videos in the description is my P.O. box. That's where you ship all that stuff to. I appreciate you, man. That's awesome. I'm going to the Classic the first time, and I'm excited. Good, Judd. You're going to love it. You're absolutely going to love it. Grant, my man, Gene, you need to go check out my boy's farm that's in Millersville. Huh. Comfort Farms. They do rehabilitation for vets through agricultural therapy. John Jackson is an awesome guy. Dude, get me in touch with him. Seriously, I'd love to just go check his stuff out, man. I've been growing a garden since as long as I could walk. Yeah, that'd be awesome. I'd love to go talk shop with him at least and talk to some of the guys. Tokyo Rig, what do you... Cod, love it, but size of wire size, how long? I can't read that. I'm sorry, man. Typos, read them before you send them. Yeah, Grant, get with Scott. That'd be awesome. He's my event planner. I call him the wedding planner. Do you have any lifetime fishing licenses Cali offers about? Georgia offers one too, but I don't. I just never got around to getting one, so I get, that's an auto renew. I had my license checked yesterday. Me and Scott made a pretty funny Instagram post about it. But yeah, I just get them every year. So, dude, Let's see. Let me find some questions. I've noticed you have a couple of deer mounts in your house. Do you ever film your hunts? I don't. I haven't hunted in a long time, Chris. Since YouTube took off and since I decided I was going to fish year round, hunting has gone by the wayside. You know, if a doe walks through my backyard, I might pop it off if I need a little meat. But that's it. I mean, I don't chew on horns anymore. So I usually, if I do hunt, I'm looking for 1.5, 2.5-year-old doe. Get her in the freezer real quick and enjoy life. So. Yes, Grant. Same name. What's your favorite baitcaster ever made? Woohoo! The Abu Garcia Revo Generation 1 is one that I'll never sell. I've got a box of a bunch of them. My favorite reel that I'm currently using, the Z is awesome. It's a great reel, and you know it got a lot of bad press for some guys that. Well, I won't get into that, but the original. Well, yeah, I will. There's a couple of guys on YouTube that do real reviews, and from what I've heard, they were denied free reels from 13, so they did a bad review. At least one of them did. The other one I'm not too sure about, but yeah, I'm not too happy about that. But yeah, it's a good reel. I beat the crap out of them, and they still work. I have a Georgia fishing license. Do I have to get a temporary permit to fish another state? Yes. You need to look every single state you go into. You got to buy a license for that state. So they used to have like 3-day licenses in most states, but I think the least you can get now is like a 7-day, and a lot of the states are in the South. Is it pretty cool to live when kayaks and fish finders are available? Ain't it? Yes, it is, man. It definitely is, because I have fished a lot of years without them. Strike King 4-inch or 3-inch menace tail for finesse jigging. 3-inch. I use a 4-inch. I actually flip with a 4-inch. It's a lot of fun. But yeah, 3-inch. Come do a video on Old Hickory with Chad. That'd be cool. Will you please answer me on thoughts of a Tokyo rig? Boy, I probably missed that one, Clayton. Oh, you're the one with all the question marks. That's what that one was. Tokyo rig, what's my thoughts? I made a video about that down in Florida. And it was actually the first time I seriously fished it. I knew how to fish it, I just never did. And I caught the snot out of fish. I think I caught 20 some odd fish that day on a Tokyo rig, and I didn't pick it up until 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and I got off the water at 4. So I was pretty impressed with it. My son he fished his first tournament on Lanier this last weekend. He finished 17th out of 70 boats fishing the Tokyo rig exclusively. And he caught the snot out of spotted bass. So, having trouble texting you at 555-888. Keep trying it, man. They were supposed to turn that on tonight. So if it's not working, I don't know. It's going to be on their end. Write it down, man. Do it a couple of times. How does the Concept A compare to the Concept Z? The Z is a lot smoother when you're casting light lures. That's when you notice the biggest difference. The Concept A is a good little workhorse reel. And the Z is one of those that will cover everything from light baits all the way to your heavier baits. So just really, really smooth. And if you fish any saltwater or brackish water, you definitely want to have a Concept Z just to, you know, to not get the corrosion in those bearings. So, Scott, I'm gonna show you a wedding planner. What specs do you like for a homemade Tokyo rig, wire diameter and length? I don't know about diameter yet. I'm still playing with that. I got some wire the other day and made some, and it was way too stiff. So I got to play around with wire diameter. But the length, the Tokyo rig normally comes about that long. I like it double that. I like it 7 to 8 inches long to start with, and then I'll shorten it and bend it down if I need to. So. Do I fish for any other fish than bass? Bluegill, crappie, trout, and then when I'm in Louisiana, redfish, sea trout, and I want to go on a flounder trip here shortly, or what you people up north call fluke, but I want to go catch a bunch of them, just fillet them up and eat them. It'd be a lot of fun. So. Do they sell Tokyo rigs at Dick's? I think so. VMC makes them, but it's just as easy to make your own. It really is. Jerry Edwards, love your videos. Got back into bass fishing because of watching. Oh, that's awesome. Because of watching my videos. Dude, that's awesome, man. That makes my day. I love it when I've got an effect like that on people. Let's see. Ever used Bait Labs? I have not. Flukemastr, do you ever fish hair jigs? And if you do, how do you fish them? I fish them just like normal jigs. I rarely ever fish them though because I love in the wintertime, typically when other people are fishing hair jigs, I'm throwing a big old mop jig with a small trailer on it, like a what I call a Zoom Super Chunk Junior, something like that. I catch more fish on that than I do a hair jig, and that's typically why you don't see me with one. Do I ever fish South Holston? No, I have not. What is your scale preference? I like those new little, I think it's a Berkeley one, the black one with a little black clip on the bottom. They're about 50 bucks. I have one in my boat and one in my kayak. Those have been pretty good. You just have to make sure you zero them out because a lot of times when you first turn them on, they don't weigh right. You have to zero it out and then weigh again. So, why aren't you putting out a lot of videos anymore? I'm doing a lot of traveling. The biggest thing is I've been waiting on everything to come together business-wise, and it's all together. I got Scott running that show. I got 2 videos I sent this week to my editor. Scott's working on one that we shot today, so they're going to flow out here a lot more. And you'll see maybe 2 a week in the future. And so that's my hope, is to get up to 2 a week. And then once I get my feet under me with these new vlogs, where I just take you out fishing, you're going to see maybe 3, maybe 4 a week, depending on how much I get to go fish. But the problem is I have an adult life, and I have children, and I have a wife, and I have responsibilities that take me away from it. And my goals and my ability to reach those goals are 2 totally different things. So I do them when I can, and I put out as much content as I can, and hopefully I've got all of my audio issues taken care of, and I'll be able to go out and film and not worry about audio, because I've had a few videos over the last couple of months get crapped out because of audio. So will they make Concept Z in black instead of the orange? No, unfortunately. Do you ever use live bait for bass and what? No, I don't. Not for bass. I just don't like to, and it's it's just not my preference. I remember thinking of making a name for my hand-poured soft plastics and realizing a month too late that masturbate soft plastics was a really bad idea. Yeah, it is. Yeah, pretty bad idea. What lakes have you fished in Tennessee? It's a lot of rivers. I fished Chickamauga and Kentucky Lake and Barkley Lake are the ones I fished in Tennessee, but I fished a lot of the rivers up and down in the middle of Tennessee. Flukemastr, how much value is there in fishing baits that nobody else uses, like jitterbugs, for example? Nobody in my area throws tubes. I've been thinking about really giving tubes a good shot. I got a bunch of them in the barn and giving them a really good shot this year down south, because you're right, nobody throws them down here. Jitterbugs, the same thing. I know a lot of people throw them at night, but not during the day. So I think that's something to it. I think the bass, going old school, can catch a ton of fish for you. So favorite hooks for Zoom Flukes weightless is a Gamakatsu 4/0 offset round bend, or what I use almost all the time. So rod recommendations for throwing a 10-inch Huddleston. I have no clue, man. I am not a swim bait guy, although I want to be one. So flyover bassin. How about doing the vlogs, then compile the clips with the same techniques into lessons? That's kind of what I'm going to do. With those little, I don't know, I can't remember what they call, but the little tab that pops up on the top, being able to take and click on that tab and seeing the videos that coincide with how I'm fishing. The biggest thing is I'm going to give as much detail as I possibly can. I'm going to act like I'm guiding you on a boat. I love to take people fishing and guide them. And so I'm going to do that with the camera, and I'm going to show you the fish finder, and I'm going to show you how I use it. I'll show you how I go out and I find those fish and the details in that, and then I'm going to go catch fish. And like I said, I've got to get my mind wrapped around all the little details, but it'll gradually get better and better and better the more I work at it. The B-roll is something I've got to get really good at. My editor keeps just getting upset with me because I forget to do B-roll. I just get so focused on teaching that I forget that I've got to videotape me doing the other things. So, anyway, am I coming back to Mille Lacs this year? Probably not. I'd love to, but I think Alumacraft wants to fly me out there this time, which means I'll fly right home after the conference. All right, guys, I'm going to take one more question. Before I do that, remember stickers. You've got like a minute to donate $5 down at the bottom to get yourself some Flukemastr stickers. I'll hold it still, show you guys what the sticker looks like. It's that real good UV protected vinyl, so it ought to be really good. But $5 down at the bottom, leave your name, address, and your screen name. Private message me on Instagram or Facebook, and you'll be able to get them. So that would be awesome. Let's see. Do I still have the infamous lipless? Oh my goodness. I can't believe somebody finally asked me that question. No, I do not. Last year, I was down at Fellsmere. Matter of fact, it was just a couple of weeks after, or a week after I did that video about my terminal box. I was down at Fellsmere, and I had stopped off at the gas station, and I was getting ice for my cooler. I pulled my black pack out of the back of my truck, put it on my kayak, got my cooler out, filled it up with ice, put the cooler back in, shut the tailgate, and drove off. My black pack fell off my kayak at about 55 miles an hour. I went back the next day, and it was in 1,000 pieces. I had lost every one of my lipless crankbaits, every one of my square bills, every one of all of my terminal tackle, my tungsten weights, my hooks, everything was gone. I mean, destroyed down the road. I don't know how many tires have hooks in them. But yeah, dude, it was not a good day. So that's what happened to that one. It got destroyed along with it. I cried a little bit, and then I went back to fishing. So cool. Thanks, Jason. Appreciate it. All right. Well, guys, it's been awesome. I really appreciate everybody tuning in. You guys are great. I really appreciate everything that you guys do for me. It's awesome having guys that are willing to sit here on Friday night and watch my ugly mug talk about fishing. I'm going to keep doing it every Friday night. And yes, you're going to see more videos. I am trying to bust out as many as I can. And hopefully I won't travel so much after this next 2 weeks of being on the road. But I'm going to do some live videos from the Bassmasters Classic. You're going to see several of those. I've got backstage passes, so you're going to see one from there if the signal's good and everything else. So expect to see that this week. Friday Night Live may or may not happen, but you're going to see plenty of live videos